a guardian of that child. What the unmarried father has is a right to apply to court for those rights. So he can apply to become a guardian, he can apply to have access to his child, or he can apply in certain circumstances to become a custodial
Suppose the
parent.
mother says, no, I don't want him, I'm finished with him.
Well,
You know, even like if there's abuse, of course, if there's violence, if there's excessive alcohol or anything like that, you can understand a court taking a view. But if the woman simply says, look, that was then, this is now, I don't want him anymore. Has the man any rights to overcome that kind of...
Yes, he does. I mean, in those circumstances, he would simply go down to his local district court, explain to the court officials what has happened. They will then fill out an application form for him, and the mother of the child will be summoned into court to deal with that issue, the issue of access or guardianship. Normally speaking, you'll be looking at a period of 3 to 4 months from when the application is made till the matter comes into court.
Yeah. What attitude do the courts have? Is it different to separated people?
No, I mean, I think fundamentally the court takes the view that a child is entitled to have access to his father, and equally a father is entitled to have access to his child.
Is it more difficult, though, for men, do you think?
I think certainly for young men there is a difficulty there. When they come into court, they have no automatic right. So in a sense, to a certain extent, they are on trial. They must prove that they are capable of being a father.
But the mother is the legal mother and has all the rights automatically.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So she doesn't have to prove anything, whereas the man does have to. And I think particularly for young men, there is a considerable difficulty there. They must prove that they can be a decent father to that child.
Okay. Des, what's your experience?
My daughter is 6 at the moment, and finishing the course now, thank God. But for 5 years it's been a bit of a struggle. I have her for 4.5 hours now, 3 days a week, overnight.
You're allowed overnight?
I have her overnight from 3 o'clock on a Friday till 6 p.m. on a Saturday.
And when did that start? I mean, how many years?
It only started when she was about 4.5. That's only gone on about 1.5 years now at this stage. The courts wouldn't give me overnight. The judge actually told me before I got up on the stand and gave me a point of view that she's not going to give it to me. Yeah. I just wanted to see what it was like up on the stand for future reference, like, you know.
Yeah.
That's basically why I done it, you know. But I did try and fight on the day, but she says she's only 12 months older. You're not getting it till she's 4 or 5.
Right. But you eventually got it. I mean, the judge was actually right. That was when they decided to do it, to give you the access.
She said on the day that she's retired now, the lady judge, and she said that when she's 4 or 5, I'll actually give you overnight access now. So just come back and apply, and it'll be automatic, you know.
Yeah.
It's a hard old battle in the courts. The legal system is, nobody wins when you go in there. The children lose.
Yeah. In a sense, are judges maybe a little bit impatient? I'll ask you both this, because, you know, they feel adults should sort these things out themselves a bit. You know, why are we in court here? These are children, you know, innocent children. Why do we need to go to court?
No, I wouldn't say that they're impatient. I think the judges are effectively in an impossible position. I was saying to Des earlier that we have an adversarial legal system in the country, that one person is pitted against another. And that's fine if you're suing somebody because they bought a dodgy car. But in this situation, it's a mother and father against each other with a child in the middle. And after they've left that court, after they've had a slagging match and fought each other, they must go back and still work together. Yeah. You know, they're back together.
So whatever kind of bad things and that malice comes out in court, it's got to be forgotten in the interest of the children. That's very hard to do.
It's very difficult to forget. In my experience, it takes a number of years before that malice goes away, that bitterness goes away, and then maybe people can start to work together.
Peter Coleman, what's your situation?
Well, Pat, I've got a little boy just over 5 years old. Now, I'm married to his mother, and I've been broken up with his mother over 4 years now. And I've walked through a living hell for the past over 4 years trying to keep in touch with him. I've had an access order giving me unrestricted, unsupervised access all day, every Saturday, since we broke up. Now, sorry, there are terrible restrictions on what I can say on the air. You know, I can't say something that sounds like an accusation, but I've been back in the court 22 times trying to get that access to happen.
That you already have?
That I've already got. I went back to court to ask for the access order to be extended twice and got it extended twice. I gave up on, I have effectively given up on the courts. I've been back in the court that number of times. Now, Donna has said that you can go back to the court and you can get this or that. The fact of the matter is, if a mother puts her foot down and says, you're not seeing your child and that's final, then you won't, no matter what the court says. No, Pat, access orders have existed in Ireland since 1976. And that's 25 years. And in that length of time, only one person has ever been punished for breaking one, and that was a man. An access order does not have any legal standing.
All right, what about that, Donna? I mean, someone has an access order, and indeed it happens in other areas where awards are made by the courts, and the people thumb their noses at the awards or whatever, and in this case, say an access is denied even though the court has given it. What can you do?
Well, it's a very difficult situation for the judge. I mean, effectively, that's a contempt of court. It's a breach of a court order.
Yeah.
So technically, the remedy is to send that person to jail. And that has happened. Very rarely, but it has happened.
To a woman, ever?
Yes. But I mean, I think that I don't think that we should be looking to go down that road.
No,
I don't
it's no
think
solution
no, it's
to
no
deprive
solution
the child of
to
his,
put a
of his
mother
or her
in jail.
mother as well.
No. I think, certainly in the States, there's a concept now, parental alienation syndrome, which is whereby one parent consistently seeks to deny the other parent access and relationship with their child. And the solution there is custody. Is that if that parent consistently does that, then the issue of transferring custody to that other parent who's been denied access must be considered.
So what happens then is the other parent gets the child permanently, and the other person is the one, the offending person gets the access.
Yes. I mean, I would stress, though, that that's only in very serious cases and extreme cases where there has been a consistent, persistent denial and breach of court orders.
Is there anything that you would see that could be brought into law that would change things, make things better?
Well, I think that I mean, I said earlier, I fundamentally believe that the system is wrong, that we have an adversarial system that doesn't suit these cases, that in a sense people going in think, I want to win, and winning means the other party losing, and it's not about that.
So it should be a mediation thing rather than adversarial.
Both parties are ultimately parents and should be working for the benefit of the child.
You see, I often think that the adversarial system is actually shorter. I mean, mediation and counselling takes a long, long time. So a judge with a caseload can dispatch a certain number of cases in a working day, whereas if you're trying to go back and forward and mediate, it might take 2 days to achieve, although it might be a more permanent achievement if you did it that way.
Well, that's the point. I think it is a more permanent achievement. I think that if a judge makes a decision one way or the other for the benefit of the man or the woman, it may seem that a decision is made, that's fine, but once they leave the courtroom, it's out of his hands again, and then there's problems arising again.
Very difficult. Thank you, Donna, and thank you, Des, and thank you, Peter. How many men do you think, Ray, are out there who are in this particular situation? I mean, there are men who don't want to see their kids, who are as feckless as they come, and then there are people like the men we've met tonight.
We always say, yeah, I mean, there's 158,000 unmarital mothers out there, which are one-parent families, so therefore there's 158,000 unmarital fathers. We have helped over about 18,000. That's directly and indirectly.
Yeah.
And we've also got the grandparents then who are affected by this and obviously the children as well. So there's a lot of people out there. There's a hell of a lot of people. And then when you actually break it down, there's over 3 million people affected in this country. Now, they're not like directly where they're having difficulties, but in relation to unmarital. And it's a national problem. I don't think the government is looking at it. I think there should be a revamp of the whole family law system, and tribunals should be taken into this, whereby, or somewhere mediation should be done, or if there is a situation where going to court, that it should be like the likes of
I wonder
colleges.
if there could be a study done where they take a certain number of cases and put them through a mediation process and just see, in terms of overall court time and personnel time, whether it might be to deal instead of having people wasting everyone's time going in and out of court.
And I think as well as with the In-Camera Act, that's another thing that's vitally important that has to be, I wouldn't say lifted, what they rather than having, leaving in the in-camera, but actually employing stenographers because it enables judges to make any kinds of decisions as well.
Finally, I know you have a poem, Ray, that you want to say for us.
I have a poem because of my daughter Grace, who was 9 on Tuesday, and it's a little poem about her, and she's like my little fairy, so I'll begin it. I know a little fairy that is lovely as can be. She loves to go ice skating and looks a bit like me. She tells such funny stories with a big smile upon her face. She looks just like an angel, my little fairy Grace. How she loves to be carried when we go out for a walk. All the time she tells jokes and stories. She just simply loves to talk. She's really into Boyzone. They make her want to weep. One night at the concert, she collapsed and fell asleep. I so enjoy my fairy. No one else can take her place. She's as special as an angel. She's my loving daughter. She's Grace. Happy birthday, Grace. I love you.
Ray, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Okay, end of part 3. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, so thanks very much, Ray.